Put your hands in your pockets, take out your mobile phones and ring at least one friend and say, hey, things are terrific here at the beautiful Bradman Oval. Get down and join us. And if you've got friends in Sydney who are not doing anything particularly important, nothing could be more important than coming down here and joining us and having a great day. Look how much the kids are enjoying themselves. So put those mobile phones to work. Now I'm going to give you a poem written by Thomas E. Spencer, and this is called How MacDougall Topped the Score. A peaceful place is Piper's Flat. The folk that live around, they make a living raising sheep and turning up the ground. But the climate is erratic and the way conditions are, the battle with the elements is everlasting war. We plough and sow and harrow, then sit down and pray for rain, and then we all get flooded out and have to start again. But the folk are celebrating as they never did before, for we played Molongo cricket and MacDougall topped the score. Molongo had a head net and challenged us to play a single innings match for lunch, the losing team to pay. We weren't great guns at cricket, but we couldn't well say no, so we all began to practice and we let the reaping go. We scoured the flats for 10 miles round to muster up our men, but when the list was totalled, we could number only 10. Then up spoke Big Tim Brady, he was always slow to speak, and he said, what price MacDougall, who lives down at Cooper's Creek? So we sent for old MacDougall and he stated in reply that he'd never played at cricket, but he'd half a mind to try. He couldn't come to practice, he was getting in his hay, but he guessed he'd teach the beggars from Molongo how to play. Now MacDougall was a Scotchman and a canny one at that, so he started into practice with a paling for a bat. He got Mrs. Matt to bowl to him, but she couldn't run at all, so he trained his sheepdog Pincher how to scout and fetch the ball. Well, Pincher was no puppy, he was old and worn and grey, but he understood MacDougall and accustomed to obey. When MacDougall cried out, fetch it, he would fetch it in a trice, and until the word was drop it, he would grip it like a vice. At each successive night they played until the light grew dim. Sometimes MacDougall struck the ball, sometimes the ball struck him. Each time he struck the ball would plough a furrow in the ground. Each time he missed the impetus would turn him 3 times round. The fateful day at last arrived, the day that was to see Molongo bite the dust or Piper's Flat knocked up the tree. Molongo's captain won the toss and sent his team for bat, and they gave some leather hunting to the men of Piper's Flat. When the ball sped where MacDougall stood firm planted in his track, he closed his eyes and turned him round and stopped it with his back. The highest score was 22, the total 66, when Brady sent a Yorker down that scattered Johnson's sticks. Then Piper's Flat went into bat for glory and renown, but like the grass before the scythe, our wickets tumbled down. 9 wickets down for 17, and 50 more to win. The captain gave a heavy sigh and sent MacDougall in. £10 to 1, you'll lose it, cried a barracker from town. I'll take it, Mon, MacDougall cried, and planked the money down. Then he girded up his moleskins in a self-reliant style, threw off his hat and boots and faced the bowler with a smile. He held the bat the wrong side out, and Johnson, with a grin, stepped lightly to the bowling crease and sent a wobbler in. MacDougall spooned it softly back, and Johnson waited there, but MacDougall, crying, fetch it, started running like a hare. Molongo shouted, victory, he's out as sure as eggs, but Pincher started from the crowd and ran through Johnson's legs. He seized the ball like lightning and he ran behind a log. MacDougall kept on running while Molongo chased the dog. They chased him up, they chased him down, they chased him round, and then, as he darted through a slip rail, the scorer shouted, 10. MacDougall puffed, Molongo swore, excitement was intense, as the scorer shouted, 20. Pincher cleared a barbed wire fence. Let us hit him, shrieked Molongo. Brain the mongrel with a bat, run it out, good old MacDougall, yelled the men of Piper's Flat. MacDougall kept on running and Pincher doubled back, and the scorer shouted 40 as they raced along the track. McDougall's legs were going fast, Malongo's breath was gone, but still Malongo chased the dog. McDougall struggled on. When the scorer shouted 50, then they knew the chase would cease, and McDougall gasped out, "Drop it!" as he dropped within his crease. Then Pincher dropped the ball, and as instinctively he knew discretion was the wiser plan, he disappeared from view. And as Malongo's beaten men exhausted lay around, we raised McDougall shoulder high and bore him from the ground. We bore him to McGuinness's where lunch was ready laid and filled him up with whisky punch, for which Malongo paid. We drank his health in bumpers and we cheered him 3 times 3. And when Malongo got its breath, Malongo joined the spree. And the critics say they never saw a cricket match like that, the day they broke the record in the game at Piper's Flat. And the folk are jubilating as they never did before, for we played Malongo cricket and McDougall topped the score. Thank you, Thomas E. Spencer.
And thank you, Michael Darby. Thank you very much. We'll hear another one very shortly.